Blessed love everyone. How you guys doing today? Today topic is, are you growing something or not? If not, why? All right? We gotta get something going, guys. Hmm. Blessed love, blessed love. How you guys doing today? Eddie Isaac family, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you here. What's going on? Yes, guys. Well, as you see, the topic is today, are you growing something or not? If not, why? If we in the spring, where the gardening season is booming and striking, the weather has changed. Now we get in the weather that we able to grow something, that we able to grow some food, that we able to grow some herbs, that we able to grow something that we love to eat, some fruits, that we able to be in control for a moment of what we eat. Why we not growing something? Why we not growing something? What I've noticed in the past couple years ago, around 3 years ago, what we see happen, everybody start growing something. Everybody claim they want to grow something. And I'm not sure, I'm just trying to figure out. I remember when you couldn't even get what you want. I remember when you only could get one something, whatever you want, you might lucky to get one. And I remember how the urge of people actually trying to grow something. I remember that time. And things get back so comfortable now. Things so change now that it's like you just get back to normal now and everybody stop growing. Some people, I help a lot of people prepare raised bed. And when I go and I look and see the raised bed is just there, nobody not trying to grow nothing, is disturbing because I take the time out to go around and try to help people at least get a raised bed going. Give them some seedlings, some herbs that they could grow something. Give them that motivation. And then the following year, some people continue and some people just leave it there. So my question is, are we growing something or not? If not, why? Why you not growing something and you have the space? You capable of growing something. Why you not? Did you get comfortable again or something comes up? I really would like to know why. Why after you see what take place a few years ago, how you become so limited to anything you need. You are limited to anything you need, and you get the opportunity to start growing something for yourself. Some people was doing it for the first time. Some people was doing it before, but that time bring them back to start again. And what I'm noticing now, people is naturally it start falling. The amount of people who was actually growing is start falling. And I'm not talking just on YouTube. I'm talking about what I was seeing. I was actually seeing people growing. I was seeing people growing food, and now the era is just there. And what I'm saying is, we in the heart of the spring. This is the growing season. This is the time to get out there and put something in the soil. And why we not doing it? What is the purpose? I'm just trying to figure out. Is it comfortability, where we could just get up and walk to the store or drive to the store and get it? Or is just people giving up? Or is just people just giving up because it might be a little too challenging? You see, the thing about it is, if like the people who have channel, hey, the realest McCoy, what's going on? Thank you for being here. What's going on? You know, yes, thank you for being here. If you are just doing it because I don't know what the purpose of people, why people was doing it, why people was trying to grow food and just give it up. I'm trying to figure out why. So today I'm gonna do an open panel where I'm gonna invite people today to, if you're not growing, if you are growing, and then you start growing, why? Why did you stop? What's the reason why you stop? Because my thing is, able to grow something give you a form of independence. Yeah, it give you a form of a big part of independence. Because now you're in control of what you put around the plant. And you know what's around the plant. And now you're actually growing it in your yard, so, or your backyard. So now you have more control over the food that you grow, that you eat. Hey, hey, the realest McCoy, what's going on, man? Thank you. You know, what is the purpose? Why would you give up? Why would you give up some sort of freedom to yourself where you in control of what you eat and give that up? Why would anybody give that up? Why would anybody give that up? I'm seeing the fall. I'm seeing the fall of gardening before my eyes. Not just on YouTube. I'm talking about real life around you, where you go, where you see people used to, couple of years ago, people was actually growing food. Where you see people was adding nice little tomato, the nice little herbs, and now the place is grass right at this moment. In the heart of gardening, we actually only seeing grass in this area where people was growing food 2 years ago. Now this year, grass, no food. And this is the heart of gardening. What is really going on? What is really going on? I'm hoping that we're not giving up that easy. I hope you're not giving up that little form of freedom you have within yourself. I hope you're not giving that up. Everything else in your life, you basically have no control over. But that one aspect where you could actually grow something, know what you're growing, learn to grow something. Look all the benefit. Knowing what you put around the plant. All these things, and people actually giving this up. No, this is why I want to know, man, is why would a person give this up? If you don't have the space, I understand. I'm basically referring to the people who have the space and who already start growing something and just get distracted and just start growing. Because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the fall of gardening. It was on a rise a couple years ago. 2-3 years ago. 2 years, it was on the rise. But now gardening is, to me, is like it's back where it used to be. Is it because people get back too comfortable? Or is it, or people just give up? What is it? Hey, Jim Mama, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yeah. Why are we giving up? The only aspect of a little freedom where you could actually see what you're growing, watch what you're growing, know what you're feeding the plant with, all these things. Choose what to put around your plant and give it up for what? I'm hoping it's not giving up. I'm hoping is maybe something different than actually giving up. This is serious because I catch myself every year I try to go to different people, different places. And I always try to, like, I'll walk around and I'll ask if you want me to build a raised bed for you, and I'll give you the seedlings. I will help you prepare, put what's in the raised bed for you. And you take it from there. And some people continue it, but some people give it up. Some people only that year and the following year, the bed is just right there. Ain't trying to plant nothing. You know, so I'm just trying to say, okay, the real McCoy say, it's an agenda, brother. Okay, I hear that. I hear that. I understand you. It's I don't know. It's serious. This thing is really serious, man. I mean, I think people is just falling and giving up too fast. Too fast. Too easy to give up. You go into a like a trial, you meet a roadblock, and you just give up. Until you get the chance to grow something and nobody bothering you, they allow you, you should do that. You should definitely do that as much as you can. Until if they say you can't do it, you can't do it. But right now, you have the opportunity. Hey, hey, Sissy, Texas Garden, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes. So I'm just want to know, why is people giving up gardening, and there was gardening before. After they see what happened, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, everybody was gardening. Now things get back a little normal and you're able to go back to the supermarket and get stuff. People give up. People have their raised bed, they're just full of grass, just full of bushes. When all you got to do is clean it out and plant some stuff inside there and keep them. You have the raised bed there. The raised bed is actually, I'm seeing this. This is what I'm actually seeing. I'm seeing raised bed right there that had food last year, and now today is grass. No, absolutely no food, no herbs, just bushes growing up inside there. So I'm asking myself, why are we giving up and growing something when this is just I believe this is the only type of freedom you have, where you actually could choose what to put on the plant you're growing in a yard. Hey, Black Guns and Garden, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, this is really serious. I don't understand it. I don't believe people actually giving up that fast. I don't get it. I'm trying to figure it out for real. Yes, people are getting comfortable with paying the expensive store price. That's the next thing again. It's not like the prices is nice. The price is pretty expensive. Everything is so expensive. So in the form of what we now went through, what we see, and you giving up that freedom, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Brother, people have short memories, brother. I guess so, brother. I guess so. Because I'm not getting it for real. I'm not getting it. You know, went through a period where you couldn't get food, where you only limited to whatever you can get. And you decide you start growing something. You decide to start growing something. And because things get back, you see, or you believe things get back normal where you could actually go and grab your stuff, you give up your garden. It's turning bush in your yard and you living right there. And the raised bed full of bushes. That, I don't get it. Let's grow. I agree with that. I'm with that. I'm with that 100%. Let's grow something. Let's grow something. Why would you give up that kind of freedom? Well, I'm walking and I'm saying, my goodness, is this for real? Is this for real? This is the heart of spring. This is the right time to start putting something in the earth. This is the right time. And people raise bed full with bushes growing tall. So I don't know, but I find it very strange. I find it very strange. I don't think anyone should get back comfortable for what we see. I don't think you should get back comfortable. What I think you should be more prepared and more, try to learn to do more things. Try to learn to do different things than you know. You should be more prepared. So in case stuff like that come again, you're more aware, you're more prepared, you're more ready, you're more ready to deal with it. When people couldn't find food, there's people was doing well, or they have their garden. You understand? You have people who actually didn't have to worry about food because they had their garden. While other people all over, they can't get this, they only could get one of this. People was living good because of their garden. Think about it. Most people have manicure grass and no trees. I'd rather have the yard. Me too. Me too. Is me too. Some people, Jimama, enjoy the beauty of the grass. You know, they have somebody cutting the grass every week or every 2 weeks, and the grass looks so nice. And listen to me, I rather see fruit trees and food. That's what I rather see. Instead, I'm looking at trees, I rather look at fruit trees. Because at the end of the day, we can get something back from the tree that's in the yard. Dropping it leaf, we got to rake up the leaf. Fruits, I agree with that. But yes, guys, I don't know why, and I don't know. I don't want to judge anyone, but if people is actually giving up that easy, that's not good. It's really not good. If you're giving up that easy to grow something for yourself, for your and your family, and you giving up and you have the raised bed right in your backyard, no, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Hey, Lassos, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Something ain't right. Why are we giving up growing something for ourselves and our family? Why? I rather to have a yard of lemongrass than red. I agree because lemongrass loaded benefits. So I agree. At least you're growing things that you can benefit from, not the beauty of some grass, and then you can. I guess everybody different. But I personally rather to know I'm growing fruits, vegetables than any other thing than some trees. Hey Sylvia, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, guys. So I don't know. I don't want to judge. I don't want to say people giving up and I don't know people's situation, but I'm seeing it before my eyes. Not even on YouTube. I'm not even talking about YouTube. I'm talking about around where you live in, where people was growing and now they stop. That's what I'm talking about. And even on YouTube, a lot of people give up as well. Because I remember seeing plenty people in 2021 around there, 2021, 22, 2021. There was a lot of people was really growing on YouTube as well. I don't see them no more. Maybe they're still growing, but they're not posting. I hope that's the case. I hope it's not about giving up. I hope it's not about giving up. Can't give up that easy. This is the time for us to grow as much as we can and save that we can get food for the winter. We don't know what's coming. We don't know. There could be disaster. There could be all kind of stuff. There could be things happen that truck can't deliver no food for you. What you understand? It's better to prepare than not. That's how I feel. I love the food I grow. I'm trying to make sure I will be able to eat good nutrition food over taste, right? Nutrition, exactly. Snowballs. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. This is the time you own a little freedom to choose. What am I putting wrong my plan? What I'm not putting wrong my plan? What, you see what I'm saying? Why would you give that up? Why would you give that up? Is even though you as a new gardener, even though you as a new gardener, there's so much to learn on YouTube. There's so much to learn on YouTube if you really want to learn something. Sorry for that. Even though you're on YouTube, right? And you're trying to grow food for the first time, there's so much people you could learn from. All you got to do is figure out the people who first you got to think about the food you want to grow and actually the kind of food you want to grow and look at the people who you see doing what you want and you could learn a lot from them because everybody do their own thing, so you choose. If you feel like growing organic, you choose people who do organic. You feel like growing whatever, you choose that and follow people. So it's a lot you can learn on here. So I just feel like we shouldn't give up that easy if that's the case. I just feel like we should try to, even as a few containers, even if you want to go big, I think you should try to go something. Even some herbs to make some fresh tea. That you can drink some fresh tea. It's better than you got to go and buy. And believe it or not, your garden help you save a lot of money. Believe it or not. It make you save so much that it feel good. So I don't know the level of gardening that everyone do, but the way I do gardening to feed me. You see, I do gardening to feed me and keep me out of the store. That's what I do gardening for. So I ain't gotta go to the store. So I try to do as much as I can in the spring. Try to plant how I can. Try to plant to get the most out of your garden. Know the crop. Know the days they take for harvest. So you know how much crop you could plant in a year. Listen to me. Even though you have a small space, even though you have a small space, if you know to utilize that space and understand the length that these plants take that to produce, you could do several crops within that year. And, so you got to study the time. If you're doing squash, right? Say you planting squash. Say if squash take 45 days, right? 45 days is a month and 15 days. So if you start growing in June, May, right? In June, you could have a harvest, right? In the end of July, you might ready to harvest again from a different crop. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes, if you really deal with these squash right, they continue. They just continue produce. I have squash that just continue, and the length, the vines just grow so long while they're producing. The squash, they start out, and while they're thinking, the vines just growing. So, but you have to take care of these plants. You see? So, sometimes you might have beans. You're growing beans. Beans is another short crop. So once these beans don't produce, you get rid of them and you replant something that's gonna give you for 45 days again. So at the same time, you just growing stuff. that you're able to get food that you could store up. So you're growing and you're storing up. By the time the last frost hit, you have food stored already. And this is how I do it. And it works for me. It works for me. So all I'm saying, guys, please don't give up. Don't give up at all. Don't give up. This is the farm of freedom you have where you could actually grow something for yourself. So why give up? Succession planting is key. Keep dropping seed. Definitely. Don't, you have a short growing season. You should you should be dropping seed as much as you can. Check if you're buying seed, check the label. See how long they take to produce. See how long. Some of them 40 days, 45 something, 80 days. So you got to know what you're planting. You got to know the time you have. If you know something take 80 days, you're not going to wait till September to plant that. You see what I'm saying? You got to get that done early. So that could produce and you could get a few harvests from it. So this is why it's important to know the time these things take to harvest. Whatever you're growing, you're supposed to know. Because you don't want to plant them too late. Because if you plant them too late, you mightn't get a harvest. Or even you get a harvest, it mightn't be as much as you would like to. So think about it, guys. But I don't want you guys to give up. I don't think anybody should give up. I think it's something really good. You actually growing something for yourself. So are you growing something? Or if you're not growing, why you're not growing something? Why? I'm going to drop the link, guys. If somebody want to come up and tell me if they're not growing, if basically why you growing, or if you're not growing, why you're not growing, and you have the space. Okay, the link is there. If anyone want to come and say something about the topic, you are welcome to do so. When I look at my garden at this time, I did a garden tour the other day. I think my last video that was a garden tour, and the amount of things I plant and I'm still planting. I'm harvesting garlic right now. I know my garlic could go at least maybe another week or two, but I'm start harvesting garlic and making space for other things. You see? I'm not going to leave them because they already been over. They're not doing anything again. So you get rid of them and plant other things. So when you plant other things, that's another crop you have coming. You don't have time. You don't have time to procrastinate. The time is too short. You got to try and see as much as you can get out of this thing. Yes. It's so good. It's so good when you're able to know that you have herbs that you grow, fresh herbs that you grow, and you dry. I really like to dry herbs in the sun. I really don't like to dehydrate them. I basically rather air dry them, like let the air just dry them. I think it's do I think it's hold more inside of it. I think the sun dry it out too much and make it crispy. I also think the dehydrator, the heat, I think that penetrate too much. I think that takes too much out of the plant. So I really don't like to use them things. I like to let it air dry. So it's just the air blowing and drying it. Let it dry for itself. Don't force it. Let it dry for itself. So even the stem, the leaves still have the substance inside of them. Okay. Garden is special, guys. You just got to know what you want to do. You just got to know what you want to plan. And you just got to know the time they take to grow. These things are very important. Very, very important. So when you understand these things, you more have a better understanding of knowing what you're doing and knowing what you don't need, knowing what to do and what you don't need to do. Yes. So guys, how you guys doing? How your garden going this year? What's going on? Is anything bothering you? Is any bugs bothering your plants? What is going on at this time? What is actually going on this time in your garden? I know this is the heart of gardening, and I know sometimes the bugs, I know sometimes the sun is so hot, I know sometimes it's so challenging. What is bothering you guys? I hope nothing is bothering you guys. I hope you guys just going smooth and nice. Hey, the real McCoy, how are
Hey,
you? How are you
hey,
doing? What's
man.
going on?
Hey, good to meet you, man. I've been watching your channel for a minute. I got a link up from Big Dog Philly OG. He had you on the panel once, and I was like, "There's my guy." So I
Okay.
subbed up to you immediately, and I've been watching in the bushes. But today, I feel like this is one of the most important lives or questions being asked right now in this moment in time is why aren't we putting seeds in the ground and feeding ourselves? Something as simple as putting a seed in the ground and can feed yourself for generations. What has happened? What is going on? This is the most important. I'm not going to put the most, but this is very detrimental to humanity right now. What we put inside of our bodies. And since we all have the ability to plant a seed, I guess we don't promote it. You know, they seem to promote things that people can't do or have. You know,
Right,
they don't promote us having children because everyone can do that. They don't promote
right.
us growing our own food because everyone can do it. But guess what? They're promoting these movies, sports, AI, robots, smartphones, smart TVs, but the things that everyone in humanity can do, no, we take that for granted. So I
True.
just think, and I see the energy, and then there's no. Look, this is the most detrimental thing to humanity right now is putting a seed. Look, I'm telling you, it would be, I don't want to keep rambling, but look, it would be one thing if we planted these seeds and they didn't grow. And we're like, damn, they won't grow. Like, what is going
Right.
on? But it's like, look, I took seeds from off my table. You know how you cut a Roma tomato? Look at all those seeds in there. Look at all those seeds in there. And I took them and I put them in the ground, and that's what I'm planting in my garden, just as an experiment, so that no one can tell me, oh, it's GMO, oh, it's this. Look, I took this Roma tomato. Look, you know how many seeds are in a damn Roma tomato, right?
Yep.
You can't, when you're cutting the tomatoes, they're all on your hands, on your finger. All you got to do is wash them into a thing, just go pour them in the dirt. And I'm telling you, they want to feed us. These fruits and vegetables, they know their role. Their purpose in existence is to feed humanity. There's no animals eating them, no bugs. Well, yeah, we'll find a few. We will find a few bugs. But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
intended for us. And we do not place a value on it, just like we don't place value on having and raising children. We don't place a value on putting a seed in the ground. Do you know how powerful that? Look, one last thing. Can you imagine if they, when I say they, we're talking about the powers that be, whatever, whoever they are. Can you imagine if they were the only ones that had the ability to plant a seed and make it grow? How much you think it would cost us? And I'm gonna land right there.
It will cause a lot, man. That's true. It will cause a whole lot. Yep, man. This thing is really serious, man, and I just don't understand. I really don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? Why? Even you never do it before. It's, I mean, people are actually teaching how to do it these days. People are actually teaching how to do it. So I'm just thinking that people should take the opportunity and try to. And that what is bugging me is how they start and stop. That's the thing that I don't understand. How could you start growing and then stop because things get back a little normal? That's what I don't understand.
I sense your frustration, but me, in my opinion, you shouldn't be so frustrated. So I think your frustration comes from being uninformed. Sorry, I'm not trying to look, man. You know, I'm not, I'm not trying to down. I just think you're very uninformed because this is a result of generations. This didn't just happen overnight. This was a psychological, mental breakdown of humanity that was done by our enemy. That it's just that simple. Just like men didn't decide all of a sudden not to take care of their children and be on child support, that was a systematic agenda that was put in place. There's a systematic agenda put in place to make sure that you don't know how to feed yourself because we want to control you. And we know the only way we can control you is by us having the food. If you can grow your own food, you won't need us. So they raise us not to have a value for growing our own food. But guess what they put in the school systems? The children know the children have to learn about the LGBT though. But the children shouldn't know about putting a seed in the ground. But it is essential to life that they know about the LGBT community. It's just a reflection of society and the standards that they put in place for us. And this is just a result of that now. That's all.
Hmm. Yes, you got a point, but man, at least what I'm saying, I know it's a psychological situation where something is not being promoted and people, yes, if you control the food, you control the people. Because people got to eat. But people got to eat. But a lot of people start growing. They start growing and they just give it up. So I guess that effect is still bothering them unto this day because they get an understanding of the feel of not to have food and going to the store and not to be able to get what you want. So that kind of give them the drive. Hey, Lassus Jordy, how you doing? That kind of
One. Hello, hello.
all right, all
Can,
right.
can I just add real quick before the sister jump in? I just want to give you a little look. My parents, I was born in Jamaica myself. Okay, Kingston 13, born in Knoxville Avenue, um, and I was brought here because my mother thought that life would be greater in America. You know, so that it's the same thing. They convinced my mother to move away from a fertile place where mangoes are growing every. I don't know if you cuss on this channel, so I'm gonna calm down a little
Yeah,
bit.
no
But I'm gonna
cussing,
say
no cussing.
what you say.
No, I said no cussing, no cussing.
All right, yeah, I sense that about you. I sometimes can, but what I'm saying is they convinced my mother and well, my father, whatever, he's like everybody else. They convinced our parents in Jamaica to move away from a fertile land. If it's one thing you'll never hear about Jamaica is that they're suffering from food. One thing you'll hear about Jamaica is that food is not a problem in Jamaica. And they convinced my parents to move away from a fertile land to come here to America where there's no fruit trees. I moved to Alabama in 2018, and I thought when I came in the South, I would see nothing but peach trees, apple trees, pear trees. There ain't you'll find one out of 1,000 square foot of one tree. We've lost, they got us. And so what I'm saying is it's the same thing that's being done now. They're convincing us that what's unnatural is better than what's natural. It's the same process,
So
same
true.
thing you're seeing right now.
So true. I agree with you. I agree with you, brother.
Yes, 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 yes. I know what you're saying. I know
Mhm.
exactly what you're saying.
So true. Yeah, they can teach everything else in the school, but they can't teach you how to grow your own food or nothing. Yeah, they push what they want to push.
Yep.
And you're right.
Wow.
Yeah, once you can control the food, you control the people. You know, everything you're
Yep.
saying is spot on. Yeah, you Jamaican? I didn't know that. Awesome. Well, one.
There.
Yeah, and you're right. Everything you want is at your fingertip in Jamaica, and I didn't realize it until I came here. Like for the past couple of years, I'm like, I gotta get back to Jamaica. I gotta get back to my roots because it's different. You're right. There's no fruit tree, nothing. Everything you have to pay so much money here for. Hmm.
What's also crazy, what's even now what's okay, it's one thing you don't have the people growing their own food, but here's
Hmm.
the sinister and the psychotic behavior of our enemy. The
Hmm.
food that they're giving us is not good for us. It's one thing, okay, I control the food, but
Hmm.
then I also, not only I'm gonna put away the food and I'm gonna feed you poison and claim it as food.
Amen. Exactly.
that's the
And
that's
then
the
they sell
part
you
that
the
is.
medicine, and then they turn around sell you the medicine that damaging you worse. And I tell people it's a cycle. The food industry and the big pharma they work together, and in $9 trillion industry, and people can't see it.
Yeah, in
Let
the
me tell you.
grocery store. In the grocery store, right across from the food is the pharmacy, right?
It's a cycle.
Because
Just like fiber.
they know that that so-called food is gonna lead you to go across the street to the pharmacy. All right. So they getting paid on both ends.
Both end. Yeah, they
And
finesse
it's
us
it's
daily.
costing us our life and our
Mm-hmm.
wellness and our health. But look, I don't blame the victims.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking about why aren't we? Because we weren't raised to value these things. It's just that
So true.
simple.
So
If
true.
Michael Jordan told every child, look how many big old mansions and houses they got. Is any of them promoting growing food? Is
No,
Oprah promoting growing food?
no. And when
Because
I
they
do my
can't.
research right now, when I do my research, none of them eat these foods. They have their farm in their backyard. I'm like, yeah. When you do the research, they're not promoting it. But when you check down what Oprah eats, they said, oh, she have a farm in her backyard, but she not promoting it. You see what I'm saying? Because they want us to stay, that way in the dark. It's crazy. A lot of these big movie stars, they're vegan. They don't eat meat. And a lot of these doctors I listen to, they're telling you eat grass fed. If you eat grass fed, they ain't grass fed. They buy from a butcher. I'm like, okay, we can't afford that.
Where we learn from the grass fed too, we understand now they're spraying something in the grass fed, in the grass to kill out the weeds then.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another situation again. So even though you claim, oh, I'm eating grass fed,
Mm-hmm.
they still spray these things. So this is why I'm trying to promote about growing organic, but people are interested. People are interested in the type of growing.
Well, they're going to be happy. They're going to be forced to. They're going to be forced to. Oh, okay. I was going to say there. Well, sometimes in life when you have the greatest time to look for a job is what? When you have a job, right? That way you're not desperate. You're not eager. You can make a sound decision.
Right,
Well, in these times, now you're going to either be faced with, can you make a sound decision and say, look, it is better for me to grow a seed, plant a seed and grow my food. It is better for me, especially over the long term, than for me now having to be forced. And that's what people are going to be faced with. It's Judgment Day. It's Armageddon right now. You're going to be forced to you're going to be forced to make a decision right now.
Yeah.
They're going to be forced. We're going to be forced, I should say. We're going to be forced to make a decision. But the thing is, they know they raised us without the ability to grow food. They know they got us. Mm-hmm. They got what you're doing is great. Spread the word.
So true.
Spread the word. We got to get the seeds back in the ground. The plants want to feed us.
Yeah.
So true. And that's why I tell him, we're listening. So, the few that's listening, we're listening. Because I don't spray nothing on my food, Bugs bite it. I come out here and wash them off. I'm not spraying nothing because planters said grow his food natural. And I check into it. And pesticide, those things, they're killing us. Killing the worm, but they're killing us too.
Yeah.
Can I just add something to that real quick? How the enemy is so weird and wicked.
Mm-hmm.
The plants that they're telling us that are weeds are good for us. That's how sick and psychotic these people, like purslane is good for us, but they label that a weed. They label dandelion a weed. And dandelion is, I'm just saying, like, that's how deep this is. So when you're asking a real sincere question, and that's why I felt compelled to come up here and just let you know, like, look, what you're seeing is this a reality that was put in place with an agenda. It's just no one just all of us, like the fathers not being in the home. You think we just all of a sudden woke up 70% of black households are raised by a single mother? You think that men just woke up one day and said, I don't want to take care of my family anymore. I don't want to take care of my children. No, it was a psychological mental breakdown over time to get that mentality to where it is today. These people are patient, they're wicked, and they're sticking to their plan. They're not aborting their plan. Their plan is to destroy us. It's just that simple. And one way to destroy us is through our food. It's just that simple. What we put into our bodies is what we see around us right now is a result. Look at obesity. You know how many problems? Come on, man. You know how many problems could be resolved by us putting a seed in?
Amen.
Financial, health, peace of mind, just love, Beauty, how many aging products do they sell in these stores? Can you imagine if people, I mean, I'm just saying, that's why this subject right here is damn near the most important subject you could put on the table right now, because what we eat is also leading to our health. And what was this whole pandemic about? That's why they were able to sell us this pandemic, because they knew we were sickly and we would buy their garbage. Because imagine if we all grow our food. Do you think they could have sold us that?
That's it. That's
So
it.
true. And most people that pass away is the ones that's unhealthy, right?
Yep. Wow. There's so much when you sit back and think about the whole thing. That's why I'm growing my food natural. I don't care what nobody say. I try to encourage people to, I show the proof of, I basically show people the proof of growing natural. But not everybody, like you say, is like a psychological situation where you got to use, if you want to grow food, use this product. And this product is we also creating a lot of situation to us. So I'm staying away from them who want to use them. That's good. That's up to you.
So keep sharing your thing. We're listening.
Yes, I mean, I'm trying, I'm trying to, I come on here from time to time, post my videos from time to time, just trying to encourage people. That's all I can do. I'm just hoping that even there's a few, even there's a handful of people listening and paying attention. That's all I can say,
So true.
I can't move everyone.
We're listening. And that's how we grow up in the island, This is how we grow up. Your stomach hurt, you go and drink Cersei. Your head hurt, you go and put chocolate leaf on your head. This hurt, there's a bush or a herb for something back home. So we grew up this way. So when I start getting sick a couple of years ago, and doctor can't find my complaint, I went plant-based. That's it. Cut out the sugar, cut out everything, and went back to my roots, and everything, all the issue went back to normal. It tells you, and they tell me you have to take a baby aspirin. I'm like, no, for the rest of my life. I don't take aspirin. I just eat garlic and turmeric every day. And it thin my blood.
Wow.
Speaking of that pill, right? See our enemy, right? There's only two things that causes headaches. Two things. Lack of sleep and dehydration, water. Those are the only two things that lead to headaches. There might be, of course, there are exceptions. All right. Don't hold me to that. But what I'm saying, there's two things that lead to headaches, which is lack of sleep and dehydration. Now, these are all from my own research. I want YouTube talking about misinformation. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical practitioner. I'm just saying, based off of my life's experience and my research, I have found that there's only two things that lead to headaches: lack of sleep and dehydration. Okay, so now to the pill, right? When you get a headache, what do they tell you? They give you an aspirin or Tylenol, correct? Okay, so you take the pill, but what do they say you have to do with that pill? You have to take it with water. So you think that the pill got rid of your... See, I can't cuss on your channel.
So true. I love it.
Yeah, but yo, I'm telling you, man, you're such a refreshing guy, because your sincerity. I was gonna type it in the chat and say, man, your sincerity is. But the fact that you're not aware of what the agenda being placed on us right now.
I'm not. I'm fully aware. I'm just saying that people need to be more aware of and more conscious of what's going on, and use the freedom at the moment and take advantage of the freedom than just to give it up. You see what I'm saying? Because you have some sort of freedom at this time to grow something. Nobody is on your shoulder right now. So that's what I'm trying to say. I know what's going on, but I'm just saying use this time and do as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the food forest, how you doing? Thank you for being here.
You're so sincere, brother. I'm telling you, man. You're so sincere, and it seems like you have such hope for humanity and hope for. Look, we don't want. First of all, okay, all right. So you're triggering a lot of thoughts in my head. First of all, here we go. First and foremost,
Mm.
hear this, hear this, hear this. Oh, dang. First and foremost, you have to have a value for that food to want to plant it.
Well, you have a point.
All right, right? And look, the last time I checked, pizza does not bring forth seeds. Hamburgers, chicken, French fries. So you got to have a desire for those type of foods in the first place, much less to now go plant it. And that desire for that food is not there, much less to want to even plant it, brother. They don't even have a desire. Look, you know the highest form of iron on earth in a plant that we can eat? You know what it is? Callaloo. Callaloo. Amaranth, as its name. Amaranth, also known as callaloo in Jamaica. It's the highest form of iron in plant life.
Yes,
It is what they have derived the spinach and all these other fake plants from. Callaloo. My mother and family ran away from callaloo. As a child, that was my favorite dish.
Mhm.
And my mother would rather give me eggs and bacon and pancakes and toast.
Yep. The farm. Yep. Highest source of
So,
iron.
so what I'm saying is first we have to have a value for that food, much less to even now go to the next step and plant it. I think most people would rather want to start a McDonald's than to go plant some food. They would want to get a franchise, a Subway franchise, and a Pizza Hut franchise before they get some land and plant some seeds.
For real.
That's just the reality of things, man. That's just the reality of things. You know, it's just a matter of getting with like minds, and we do the best that we can right now. But we can't put our hope in the humanity right now. Are you out your mind? Look how many people was comfortable putting a mask on their face. If there's anything that you learned from that whole pandemic, was who was a see, I can't cuss on your channel, man, but you'll know who's a fool out there who got a mask on in their car by themselves with the windows up. All right? That's what the pandemic did for you. It cut the grass. It cut the grass so you could know how many fools are around you.
Yep.
That's the one benefit that I got from that whole scenario, was it exposed who didn't have a mind of their own.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
So that same mind that put a mask on their face is the same mind you're trying to convince to go put a plant in the ground and grow. Come on.
Yep.
Well, you know what?
Beating a dead horse.
The thing is, I already know ain't much people gonna listen, but just a few. There's a few out there, and that's the people I'm trying to reach. That few who really will hear and put it to action. I already know. Ain't many interested in what I got to say, but there's a few out there might hear me, and that's who I'm trying to reach. You see what I'm saying?
Keep doing it. And then the thing is, a lot of time, you know, a lot of us, because I have friends right now that say they plant and their garden is pretty, but they said they don't eat nothing in there. They just do it for Facebook. They just do it for YouTube. I'm like, really? Yeah, they don't eat it.
Wow.
Hmm?
That's some crazy stuff.
They just do it for YouTube.
Yeah, I think you'd have, before you do this live, this live should have been part 2. Part 1 should have been, why don't you all eat fruits and vegetables anymore? That's part 1. Why don't you all eat the food that the earth has for you? Why are you not satisfied with what the earth brings forth for you? Why are you so in love with what man has for you? And what man has for you is what's making you sick. That's part 1. Then you do, let's plant a garden. You know what I mean? But the people don't have a desire. Like she just said, they're doing it. They're doing it just for you.
That's ridiculous. I mean, Well, I guess everybody different, but my goodness, you just planting food for you too. Oh my goodness, that's one of the most ridiculous thing I hear. For real. Hey, life from scratch, how you doing? If you share the knowledge, it may just fall on willing ears and doers. That's true. That's you see, this is the thing. This is why I just always try. Because I just feel like not you can't move the whole world and you can't get everybody, but the few that's out there that's willing, that will take and just put it to action, I don't mind reaching that few. You see what I'm saying? We can't just not share the information because there's people who are willing to take and go, and there's people who will never listen. They don't want to hear it.
How's your family in regards to this? I don't know if you have grown children where such and such, or your brothers, siblings, and how are they taking to this? Are they planting gardens? Because to me, it starts at home. Charity starts at home.
Well, I grew up. This is my family grew up doing this kind of stuff, so everybody used to this. You see what this kind of life. You know what you call living off the grid. No, that's how people actually grow up, living off the grid. So growing your own food is become like a part of life itself. You see what I'm saying? So for the people who never have the opportunity to grow up in the form where your father was a farmer, your uncle or somebody, and was able to be around to learn and see and observe, I think it might be difficult for these people because the reason why I start doing these videos on YouTube is because a brother one day, I hear a brother was saying he never saw a pepper tree. You know, he only know pepper by going in the supermarket. And I'm saying, my goodness, is this for real? And from that's when I start to basically post videos on YouTube. That could help. You understand? Because people actually never saw a plant that they eating. They eating the food, they buying the food, but they never actually see the plant. You know, so trying to reach a few people, I think is cool. Hey, life from scratch, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Treat the awake with kids' gloves and they can freak out. I hear that. I hear that.
I don't understand that statement, like because they can freak out. Treat the awakened with kid gloves as they can freak out. What does that mean?
Wait, treat the awakened with kid gloves as they can freak out.
Yeah, I find that a lot of people they want to save the world, but yet their house is not in order.
I mean,
They want to save the world. No, I'll even take it further, like the preacher man. You know, they expect more of others than they expect of themselves, where they're not doing what they're preaching. You know, but I appreciate the fact that you're actually up here doing it and you're spreading it. A lot of these people aren't doing what they're saying, what they're living, what they say they are. So I appreciate that about you, man. And no, you just keep doing your thing. You have a natural ability, you have the confidence, you have the knowledge, you have the information, and you have the desire. You know, not all of us can do that. So we need a brother like you up here, man, spreading the word. But I know that if right now, if you had beef with your next door neighbor, you had 200 people in the chat right now. You know?
You know I hear you with that, man. I hear you with that. These guys, these don't get nobody interested in these kind of stuff. You said it right. If we was fighting, chat would have been full. You said it right. You said it right. But thanks, man. I appreciate that. You see, this is the thing, brother. This is why I show what I'm doing. So I'm not the guy who come up on YouTube and talk, oh, do this and do that, and we should do this. I'm actually doing the works. You see, I'm showing from start to finish in my garden. I show how I plant. I show how I make my soil. I show everything about my garden. So, so I'm not the kind who just Google stuff and come and talk. I actually doing the work. So thank you for acknowledging that, man. Okay,
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing my short time being around you, man. I plant a garden myself. Like I said, I have but this year, when I first moved to Alabama, well, when I first had the opportunity, okay, I'll say this. I was in California in 2018, and I knew that they were going to shut down America. So I left California because I knew California would be with the agenda. So I packed up. I chose Alabama because I wanted to be in the South, and so I can have a longer growing season. I know the soil in Chicago and Illinois is great, but I wasn't going back to the snow. And plus, it's a longer growing season down here. So I dipped here. And my next move was to go to Jamaica. And then if things weren't good in Jamaica, I was going to move to Ghana, because I knew of the agenda here in America back in 2018. It was plain as day. They're going to shut this down. And so I knew Alabama would be a little more rebellious. There's a higher black population. They're religious down here, although I'm not. But the institution of family has some value down here. But my point is the fact that I can't. So the pandemic hit. I wasn't able to get a home. But my plan was to get a home, put gutters on there, grow my food, catch my rainwater, and disappear off the grid. That was my plan in 2018 because I knew they were going to shut America down. I didn't know in 20. So the pandemic hit in 2020 and I ran out of time. So anyway, I planted like 90 tomato plants in this yard 2 years ago. I planted callaloo, peppers, melons, squash, basil, herbs. The soil down here is not that great. I'm not surprised because they're not doing nothing with the soil, but just planting grass seeds and cutting it. They're not putting the nutrients back in the ground. So I had a lot of blossom end rot. What's it called? What's it called? Bottom end rot, where the tomatoes on the bottom of the tomatoes, it's like rotting kind of. It's dark. So all my tomato plants, it was, so I took a break last year to let the soil rest and to really observe Alabama, this soil. And so now this year, man, I done planted damn near 60 callaloo plants. We had about 40 Roma tomato plants. We done planted about 100, over 100 squash plants, whether it's butternut or acorn. What else we got out there? Watermelon. And all of this I got from my table. All I did was save the seeds, just as an experiment to show my children. I took the seeds, I saved them, and I planted them. And here they are. Yes, end rot. Yes. Yeah. So, and I know that they said that's caused from a lack of calcium in the soil or however, whatever. But I know it's just nutrients are lacking. But my point is, damn near everything I'm growing in my garden, I got from off my table. And it's growing. Look, 2 years ago, we threw watermelon seeds on the patio for the birds. They're growing on a crack without soil. Honeydew seeds, cantaloupe seeds are growing on top of concrete.
That's it, man.
Come on, man. What else? What else can the universe do? You complain about your health problems. But yet, look, I appreciate your endeavor. Thank you for this live. You are a sincere man. I'm glad we had this conversation. You're a sincere man. I see that you're very genuine. You really want us. But me, I'm on the other spectrum. I'm just getting my family together, get my household in order, and that's it. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. That I think I can. You know, but I commend you. I commend you for getting up here, putting yourself out there, and really taking time, your time, to inform those who, you know. But I'm here, and there's others here that appreciate you, and you're gonna get it back tenfold. But that was just to let you know, man. I'm growing my stuff too. I'm not talking up here and just on some political conspiracy thing. There is nothing easier than putting a seed in the ground.
True.
So yeah, I'm not gonna take too much more of your time, man. I just felt your sincerity, your fire, your desire, your love for humanity. I felt it in this hole from the moment you started this. You have a sincere question of what is going on. What is going on? Like, because you're looking at it like, man, this is easy. It's rewarding. There's many benefits from it. What am I missing? What you're missing is the elephant in the room. We were raised by our enemy. And this is the result. You know, but I appreciate you, man. You have a good one, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you, man.
All right, you see me around. All right, man. Take care.
All right.
Take care, brother. All
right. Thank you. Yes, that was a interesting conversation. And yes, the truth is, and if anyone really following me from day one, yes, Planter made me start a path with all my community fight. Oh, okay, all right. You see, it hit it working. Everybody mightn't agree. Everybody mightn't feel like they want to hear what I got to say, but at least even a few people hear and start their garden, that's cool with me, because I already know I can't reach everybody. I already know people would rather fight against me, even though they know what I'm saying ain't wrong, than this, you know what I'm saying? So I understand that. But my thing is, as the brother say, and he have a point, I not up here just running my mouth and talking a bag of talk and not doing actually what I'm talking about. So I encourage people to grow food. I actually growing it. You see, I encouraging people how to grow their food. You know, it's crazy. It's really crazy that someone could show you that you could grow food with stuff from the earth without going back to using all these form of stuff. And listen to me, it's crazy. So it shows me that's what is it make sense. What is it make sense? Because people rather, you know, like what he said, if I was, me and my neighbor was battling, he said a life would have 200 people. And he's right. Real information, though people don't interested in what you got to say. And it's crazy, but I could show you how to grow food. I have the skills, the knowledge, the information, how to grow food without using any form of buying anything. Using stuff from the earth, from the soil, and grow food, healthy food, big plants, produce big fruits, just like what they say. And people are interested. But you know what? Like last year say, people is listening, and it mightn't be plenty right now, but one day, all this information I share will be appreciated. And I have over 1,000 videos on this channel right now, and all of them loaded with information. So it's okay. one day it might reach the people who actually wanna hear what I have to say and who it makes sense for. So it's okay. Sometimes, and I just wanna reach the people who really, because the people, people who are interested. My goal is the people who are interested and wanna learn something, wanna grow something, who have the idea, interested in growing something, but sometimes they might the space they have, they might feel like this space ain't big enough for me. But we could show them, no, you have enough space for grow something. My food that I grow is my medicine. Your food that you grow should be your medicine. But is it your medicine? Just remember, the stuff you put around your plant is what the plant feeding from. Just remember that. The stuff you put around your plant is what your plant feeding from. So when it feed from that, what you think you're eating in the fruits or what you think you're eating in the leaf, sometimes, like the cabbage and the broccoli behind me, that's behind me there. All your times when I grow these cabbage, I used to have worms, like especially if I stay with too long, the worms might go and start eating them. So I used to use vinegar with water, mix vinegar with water and spray them to get rid of the worms there. But over the years, I've learned different skill how to deal with worms. Instead of me gotta be spraying any vinegar on top of my plants, I create place that birds could come and land. And the birds take care of these worms because in the spring, this is the time when the birds making young one and the birds need them worms to feed them. So I create landing space for the bird and my cabbage and them, no holes, big and beautiful. But why I say that is, you really believe that you have cabbage, you have collard greens, you have spinach, you have basically edibles, right? And you spraying these things. You really think you really think all these things coming off the leaf, all these things that you spraying, like, you really think that these things is actually coming out from that plant? No, that get embedded in the plant. So instead of you think you really doing something, you basically slow poisoning yourself and don't even know. So when I talk about growing natural and I promote natural and I show proof, I show proof of growing natural and how it works, and but just a few people interested in that. Bunch of people love using chemical. They're okay with that. Do you know why they're okay with it? Because they don't want to do the extra. You see? They just believe plant them and throw chemical and the chemical shoot them up and their job done. They don't want to be dedicated to their garden, to their plant. So the easy way out. But at the same time, if that's how you grow your food, then it's better you just get it from the supermarket because it's the same food you grow. It don't make sense to talk about about the supermarket food when you put in the same thing they put around their plant. I mean, so when there's people who are actually showing you, listen to me, you could do this. Only a few gonna grab. Only a few gonna grab. And I already see a few who is paying attention to what I'm doing. I see a few people doing it. I see. Even sometimes they don't mean, and this is the next thing again. Why? Anybody gonna question me about stuff I promote? I promote. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand. You wasn't hearing about it. I'm the one who talk about it. But then you can ask, oh, do you know about this? Yes, I know about it. I'm the one who bring it to life. When everybody talking about all kind of chemical, I'm talking about leaf, grass clipping, rotten chichon. That's what I'm been talking about for 7 years on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? Leaf, grass clipping, rotten chichon. For 7 years, I've been talking about that on YouTube. No chemical. We ain't using these things. So, that's all I'm saying, guys. If you're growing it, me, if I'm growing it, I don't want no. What? Look at my cabbage. Look at this cabbage. Look at this cabbage. Look the size. Look the color. Look at the beauty. No holes in them. No holes. Look at them. They grow natural from grass clippings or weeds out the garden, leaf, rotten chichon. That's what grows these things. So this is my proof. You see? But people don't want this information because chemical is easier to deal with. It grows stuff faster, but for sure not healthier. Yes, people is listening. Can I come for 2 minutes? Okay, give me a minute, GT. Food is medicine. You need hearers and doers, not just hearers. Having 500 views and no doers will not fulfill. I think for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because at the end of the day, every live I do, or every video I do, hey Mike here, the garden, how you doing? Thank you for being here, man. What's going on? Yes. Every live I do, every videos I do, I try to put as much information. It's always, I don't joke around too much because information, people looking for information. So I try to put information in every video that somebody could grab a few, grab something from. So when I get 2, 3 people, once they get in what I'm saying, and once they're willing to apply and do something, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Like Lashes was saying a while ago, so she knew someone doing a garden and they're not eating from the garden. They're only doing it for YouTube. That's one of the most ridiculous thing I hear for the longest while. You growing food, you're not eating it, you only doing it for YouTube, which a lot of people do that. A lot of people definitely do that. But that's your decision. If I grow it, I eat it. If you go back to maybe my second video, my second or third video, I was doing a lettuce bed. a lettuce bed with black sow around it. And I'm good. It's too hot. Oh my goodness. The heat start penetrating, Mike. Wow. Yes. So what I'm saying is, since my second video around there, 93. Ooh, or 73. 93 normal. Wow. Ooh. Some heat for deal with right now. But yes, when I was doing that raised bed, and that's 7 years ago. Yeah, that's actually 7 years ago. What I was talking about, leaf. So I've been talking about leaf for a very long time. But that's all I use. And with a little patience, these leaves could transform and change your soil. And then I keep saying, I don't know if anybody listens to me, but I keep saying, you got to be careful what you introduce into your compost pile. You got to be careful because sometimes you end. Hi, that chicken, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Because sometimes what we do, we introduce bacteria, parasite that's mess with our plant, that's eat down our cabbage, that eat down the roots of our plant, that eat down a lot of things in our garden. We don't want to do it because we want to add meat, we want to add this in our compost, we want to add that. For what reason? That's how I see it. For what? We always trying to rush something. But it's no shortcut. If you really want long-term production in a garden, you gotta look at long-term. You gotta look at it from a long-term perspective. Meaning I'm doing this now, but it's for long-term. So the more bacteria you keep out your garden, the better your plants will look. The less bugs you will have to deal with. Because some of them live in the ground. And what they do, they eat roots. And then you notice your plants drying and fading. You believe it's water, you believe it's all kind of stuff. But sometimes these parasites, they feed it, eating out the roots. Who bring it in your garden? You did. Because you introducing all these things to your soil, messing up your soil. And then they start feeding on your plants. Then you get upset. We're doing it. We showing what we're doing. From start to finish. We're showing all the production. We're showing everything. We don't fight with too much bugs. Because we don't introduce bugs to our garden. And the little butterfly that lay their eggs, by the time they lay their eggs, the birds is there eating the eggs. So you're not even giving them time to hatch them eggs to turn caterpillar and start eating up your plants. So you got to know how to design your garden and make it work for you. I'm not going to be using these things. It's up to you guys. I'm not doing it. Would ash and biochar make life rough for bugs of any kind? And believe. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. What eating your caterpillar? The buds? No. I'm not spraying nothing. I'm sorry. I'm not spraying at nothing. I did that years ago and I used to use vinegar. You know? I repost a video showing that a couple months ago. But you got to figure out what to do to keep you from spraying your stuff. And then and then you have people promoting these products, and they have no idea about these products. They don't know what's inside them, but they promote them. Oh, use this, and you understand. If you want to use it, then you use it. But coming and promote it like it's something so good, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I go out and wash them. Okay. Hi, Duval City girl. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, I just feel like, everybody grow the food their own way. And I can't tell nobody how to grow their food. That's you. That's your decision how you want to grow your food. But when there's people who want to grow food without these kind of stuff around their food, let them do that. Why would I put something around my plant that if I put it too close, or if some drop on the plant, it dry up, the kill the plant? Why would I do that? And that's the perspective I'm looking from. I wouldn't do it. So I'm not telling anyone not to do it. I'm just saying I'm not going to do it. If there's a way for you to grow your food without using certain things, why not do it? I'm not getting it. I'm really not. If there's a way for you to grow your food without using certain things, why not? Especially if you have access to it. Especially if you have access to it. But like I said, guys, it's not for me to tell you what to put on a plan. I just know what I'm not putting. But like the topic say, why are people giving up from growing food? Why people have their raised bed full with grass and bush and not growing anything? Why is that? Is it people get too comfortable, or people get back comfortable because food is running again in the supermarket? Or is it people just feel like I don't want to do it and just give up? Or is people just feel like it's too much hard work and I'm just giving up? What is it? What is the problem? What is it? Why is it we so easy to give up if that's the case? Great live stream, and thank you kindly for the information. Peace and love. Thank God. Good to see you, Out Warrior. All right, thank you, Food Forest. Family Culture, thank you for coming by. Appreciate you. Thank you for dropping in. All right. Yes, guys. You know what? You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a group of people. I'm looking for a group of people, whether on YouTube, that really interested in growing food, organic. That's really not no half the way, not no 3/4, 100%. Because I want to have this, I want to have conversation with people who in it all the way, not just people who all over the place. One day they say, oh yes, yes, and then the next day they say, oh, somebody talk, some you talk about organic today, then somebody talk about some product next week, and they are no. I'm looking for people that we can have a collab about organic gardening, because that's me. That's me right there. Organic. Like-minded. Because everybody have their own way of growing food. So maybe somebody might have other ways of doing things organically without using, but we're not using these things. We're sticking to the soil, we're sticking to nature. We allowing nature to walk on our soil. And we could have a conversation about these things. All the way. Can't be everywhere. This week you say this, next week you say that. No. I've been saying the same thing for 7 years since I'm here. Same thing. Never change. Same thing. Because that's what I stand for. Growing food, natural. Love to get the mineral, love to get the vitamins, love to get everything out of your food, out of your plant. Because your plant's supposed to be your medicine. Your food that you eat supposed to be your medicine, not to destroy you. So if you have the ability to grow something for yourself, this is the only form of freedom you have. You have that you can make a choice, make a decision, and take opportunity of it. Greatly, Howie. All right. Thank you, bro. All right, that's okay. I have to use cow manure mix with my son and plant. Well, that's just I understand. And for what I noticed, I did went out and do my own research on the manure them that they sell, because I wanted to enlighten people a little about compost. And what I noticed in the cow manure, I noticed something kind of different. What I notice in a lot of these bags, I'm actually seeing wood chip in the bags there. And wood chip is not going to break down overnight. This thing take time for breakdown. So, cow manure is a more finer and easier for melt away. The only thing is what what this cow is feeding from. That's the only thing. But other than that, and you doing it, listen to me, don't get me wrong. You doing your thing in sand, and trust me, it's not easy to grow things in sand. I know it. I used to do it. So I know, but you're doing a good job. I have to say that. Just do what you're doing. You're doing a good job. Hey, John Shoot 67, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yeah, so all I'm saying, guys, why are we giving up on growing food? I'm not saying that much. 2 years ago, man, plenty people was listen me. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, plenty videos used to be flying about gardening, man. People, a lot of people used to be posting gardening video. many of these people, I don't already see them anymore. So I'm just hoping that they did not give up. Maybe they don't want to do YouTube, and maybe they're still doing it, but they're just not doing it on YouTube. So I'm hoping that's the case. But many people I know 3 years ago, I'm not seeing them no more. So I'm just hoping it's not a case where people giving up. You're welcome. You're welcome. Mix leaf and grass clipping, food, crop, etc. into sand. Be soil in. Listen me. I start out. With red clay. Red clay. I'm sure everybody know what is red clay. Right? And if you in my garden, you will not see no red clay at all. And that's what it was. So when you talk about leaf, I've been talking about this thing for years about leaf, videos about leaf, grass clipping that your weeds them you put out your garden, your tree trunk, them rotten tree trunk. These are things I've been using for years. And it actually transformed the soil. Now the soil, you're not seeing clay anymore. You're naturally not seeing clay. So I know for a fact, ain't nobody gonna tell me about leaf and please, nobody shouldn't be asking me if I know about leaf because I'm the one who been talking about weed for the past 7 years. You see what I'm saying? Yes, leaf really works. I'm gonna tell you this, it don't happen overnight. You gotta remember this. It don't happen overnight. It takes some time, but it will get there. It takes some time, but it will get there. So how you guys doing tonight? What's going on? How the garden going? How the heat going? How everybody going tonight? What's going on? All right, so I'm gonna drop my link again if anyone wanna come up and talk about the topic. Yes, I don't mind. Okay? Let me see. I look forward to fall when my yard is completely covered with leaves. I've been talking about this thing for years. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Gardening is nice. You just got to pay attention to what you're doing, observe what you're doing, and you'll be all right. I'll tell you that. Okay, give me a second, guys.
Board guy TV. It's a who? Board guy, rank a board guy. Okay, I'm gonna make this into a lettuce bed. You see what I did? I laid the block.
You guys hearing me? You guys
What I'm
hearing?
gonna do now, as you can see, I have all these dry
This
fruits.
video is 7 years old.
You see, all these dry fruits.
7 years
What
old.
I'm gonna do now,
And what look what I was doing at in 7 years old. And today
you see,
I'm still
and I'm gonna
promoting this. That's my race bed I'm doing there. You see? 7 years ago. And I'm still with the same thing.
put inside here.
The leaf that I just keep throwing the leaf into the raised bed,
Inside here.
then add some dirt on top of it, and
After I take the dry
that's
fruits
it.
off the ground and throw them in there, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take some dirt, what I'm gonna throw on top of here. Then I'm gonna take up more.
Okay. Yes, so that video is 7 years old. But at the same time, I'm still promoting the same thing that I've been talking about for years. So it's years I'm actually dealing with leaves. It works. That's what I know. It works. You see, those watermelon seed I purchased, I put them in water to see if any is well. None floated, but I'm going to plant them anyway. You never know. That's true. You just never know. I mean, none stayed in. Oh, none stayed in the bottom. Okay. That's true. You just never know. Okay. Yes. Can I do the same with my grow bags at the bottom? Mix clip? Yes, definitely. Definitely, because we're gonna happen. It's good to add them to the bottom. It's really, really good to add leaves to the bottom. Because leaf add a lot of carbon and create that organic matter in the garden, and that also attract earthworms. So you should. If it's me, I will put some leaf to the bottom, even though, and then you could put the soil on top. I think it's a good idea. I really do. All right, GQ, what's up?
Hey there, Planet Garden TV. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
So yes, what you're talking about has worked. What you're talking about, people are listening. I did it yesterday. I went to the forest or wooded area and I looked for trees that had been fallen or uprooted from the earth, and I found the soil. And yes, I just wanted to I talked about it yesterday, but yes, I'm glad that you brought it back to my fruition, because back to my mind, because I remember researching this years ago, and I didn't want to purchase any more soil, and I was trying to figure out how I could do it. And then we had a conversation online, and you was talking about the leaf mold, And then I just kept going on and on with the research. And yes, I did it. And today will be the second day that I'm going to go grab more soil. I'm trying to fill up my beds. I have to grow in beds because, well, I don't have to, but it's just for my climate. It's one of the best ways for me to have a great harvest, in my opinion.
Okay. So you use raised bed. You build like raised bed, like put the water around.
Yes, I have raised beds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Our ground actually freezes, like frozen solid. We have permaculture, so when it freezes, it's over. So just to hold on to, my plants and things like that, I use raised garden bed. In other climates, you can plant in the ground, and you even have some plants that actually come back year after year, because they're perennial. It's not as prevalent here. We have perennial plants here, but like for, leafy greens and things like that, they're not going to stay over winter because our climate is just, it's harsh. It gets to the negatives, and the wind is a big factor here. So yes, I appreciate the conversation. Definitely what you did about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. It was like when you said it, it like pinpointed something that was like, okay, research. And I'm still researching because I'm trying to understand the ratio of grass to leaves that will turn it into soil, and how does it get warm? Should I put a tarp on it? I'm still evaluating this, and I know that I researched this, and I have notes somewhere that actually explains the stuff that I don't remember. But I know that I did it to my bed last year, and I layered it. And when I looked up under the layer, I seen worms and everything. I'm like, okay, we rocking now. We rocking. So I felt good about that. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to do is just say thank you for, doing what you do, the organic way.
I appreciate that, but you see, this is what I'm saying. When you don't do all this work, right, of getting your soil a certain way, start getting your earthworms. When you do look, you see your earthworms and them start appearing in your soil, which is a really good thing. You gotta stay focused for real. You check what I'm saying? This is what I know I was saying. I'm looking for a group of people, right? That serious about organic. Because believe it or not, I have so much information about growing organic. You see what I'm saying? I believe it's just a basic I just be sharing. Because to me, people ain't ready for that highest, because you gotta start from the soil. So to me, you know what I mean? People ain't ready for that. So this is why I stick to the basic. But you gotta be focused. When you want to grow organic, you got to stay focused. Here, you got to stay focused. Because you might watch a video with a guy with some tomato, right? And he's spraying the hell out of them. And then you might say, damn, what the hell? His tomato look good. We spraying them with next thing, you find yourself spraying the hell out of your tomato. You see what I'm saying? So, you got to be focused on this thing. You start a journey where you're going to look for soil and you walk in organic. You surely got to stay focused because you could get distracted by watching someone else using a product you have no idea about. I just want to tell you that because was to stay focused. This is why I'm not interested in hearing about the chemical. I don't want to hear the name. I'm not interested because I'm trying to stay focused because I don't want to use these things. You see what I'm saying? So I'm glad you find it. Just keep searching for it and you won't regret it. I tell you that. You would not regret it.
All right. Thank you, Planter Garden TV, for allowing me to come up and just tell you that, sir. You have a
No,
good one. I'll be in the
no,
chat.
no problem. I appreciate that, man. All right, that's GT Junior, man. Thank you for coming up, man. Thank you for coming up. And that's good that he, you see, that's what this is what I'm saying. These are things I've been saying for years about soil and how to do your soil and how to build your soil, showing people how you can go get it, where you can go get it if you have the access. So that's what I'm saying. Even if 1, 2, 3 people listening, I'm cool. Because I know I'm not misleading anyone because that's what I'm doing. And it's working for me for years. These things help turn red clay into black rich soil. Red clay. So just stay focused, man. Stay focused and keep doing what you're doing. Keep looking for the soil. You ain't gonna regret it, I tell you that. My ground ice for what? Damn, Mike, you dealing with some serious weather, man. 4 feet down. Or his ground ice 4 feet down. Ooh, damn. Some serious goddamn weather you dealing with over there. His soil is really heat up. End of some. Oh wow, raised bed moss. Well, that's the thing, man. You gotta do what the hell you gotta do, man. Because you gotta eat. At the end of the day, you gotta eat. That's some serious weather you dealing with, man. So right. Wow. Yes, that's what Paul McFrost says. Ooh, wow. Damn, some people meeting some serious time out there, man. But that's the thing, man. Adjust yourself. Adjust yourself to whatever works for you. Because everybody dealing with different climates, so you got to adjust yourself to whatever works for you and whatever could bring food on your table. Yeah. Yes, gotta learn our ground and how to go. Definitely. Definitely. You gotta figure out how it works and what works because you there. You the one there, so you gotta figure out, okay, how can I do this? That I can actually get food. So if you feel raised bed works, man, stick to your raised bed. It can be done. Yes, I agree. He has more sun. So vegetable grow huge. Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, man. Listen, me, gardening could be very technical sometimes. And especially, man, when you got to deal with certain weather. For real. Them kind of weather you guys telling me about, that's some serious damn weather you're dealing with there. So you only go have to grow some indoors and some outdoor because the growing season seems to be very short. So if your growing season is short, you gotta do what you gotta do. You definitely gotta do what you gotta do. Wow. 6 feet down. That ice take forever for melt. That's a lot of freezing. Wow. Well, guys, this is gardening season. This is garden season. It ain't too late. It ain't too late to plant something. It ain't too late. You have a lot of crop that's 60 days, 45 days. You could still do it. Keep focused. Stay positive. Let's keep growing. Gardening time is here. Take use of the opportunity. Grow some herbs. Yeah, people, look, people grow. This is crazy. People have a real difficult time growing. You know what I mean? The weather is so harsh on them, but it's still growing. They're still growing. So the people who actually have the good weather, I mean, come on. Come on. I'm so happy to be outside, even it's crazy. Yo, I agree with you, Mike. I agree with you. My goodness, nothing is better than outside. Because listen to me, man. I just start seedlings all back in November. Yeah, I just be like my broccoli and stuff. I just start these things real early. Broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. Yeah, the edibles. You know, I just start them because I just plant them out like January. So I just have to have these start growing these things like for 3 months, 2 months. You think it's easy to really take care of these things for 2 months? It ain't easy. It's really challenging, but you can't give up. You just got to remember, I got to eat here. I got to eat, so I can't allow them to die. You got to make sure that you take care of them. So all I'm saying, don't give up, guys. Be positive. Stay positive. This is garden season. People in difficult time, difficult weather is doing it. So if you in a place where you can actually grow something, why not? Hey, the Isaac family, thank you for being there. Appreciate you, all right? Thank you so much. Yes, if people going through all this time and still growing, what is your excuse? So that's what I'm saying, guys. So I appreciate each and every one of you again for coming out today. Thank you, guys. I hope this live motivates someone to really, if they never grow anything before, I hope this live motivate them that they can actually get out there and grow something. Thank you, guys, again, as always. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, I'm going live tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's have a conversation, an open discussion. All right? So thank you guys again for coming out. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you, Lashos. Thank everyone who come up on the panel. Thank GT. Thank everybody who come up on the panel. Everybody who come to the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace, love, and blessing. Happy gardening to each and every one of you. Peace.